What if I told you that you were living inside a cage? It was a cage that had no bars. It was a cage that had no padlocks. There were no prison guards. But still, you're stuck inside this cage. And this cage is stealing your choices. It's killing your potential. And it's making you think you're free when you're not. Welcome back to Master Your Mindset, Master Your Life. I'm Sanj, and this is a short, power-packed, action-packed podcast to give you tips and tricks to help you start shifting your mind, start taking action, and get yourself from stuck to unstoppable. In this episode, I'm going to give you some hints and tips to start mastering your mindset so you can master your life. So you're stuck in this cage and it's giving you the false illusion and making you think that you're free, but you're not. And most people, they live their whole damn lives trapped inside this cage. They don't realize it. They're blind to it. They're numb to it. And the worst thing of all, the thing that is going to actually cause the most pain in your life is you're wasting time that you'll never get back. But today you can change this. This doesn't have to be you. You can start taking action. And the first thing you need to do is you need to see the cage for what it is. Because once you see the cage, you'll then never be able to unsee it. Have you seen those illusions, those pictures where you can either see, say, a vase or a lampshade? And you can either see one or the other. But when you're then shown that other object, you then can't switch back and unsee it. So when you start to see this cage for what it is, when you start to actually notice what's holding you back, when you recognize it, that's how you can break out of it. You need to build that self-awareness, and you can break out of it for good. Because by the end of this episode, I'm going to be giving you some ways to actually set yourself free, to break free of this thing holding you back. But most of us, we wake up and we're feeling every day is the same. We're feeling stuck, frustrated, or just empty. How many times have you woken up like that? You feel like it's just a chore to get out of bed. You feel like it's taken so much effort, but you just don't know why. You got a decent night's sleep. There's nothing overly wrong. There's nothing that's actually irritated you. You've got a job that pays your bills, but it's draining your soul. You've got responsibilities. You're doing the right things, but inside, you're just feeling like you're going through the motions. And you've got dreams. You've got big dreams, but you keep pushing them off. You keep telling yourself someday. And the problem is not your job. It's not your circumstances. It's not your life. The problem that is causing all this is the invisible cage that you've been living in. And what is this invisible cage? What is this thing that's actually holding you back? It's the rules that you've never agreed to. These are limits that you didn't even notice. And these are fears that you've been dragging around like chains. They've been holding you back. They've been anchoring you to the same spot. And this is built by the environment around you. It's built by society's rules. Like, this is what success looks like. And things like social media, it doesn't help. You sit there scrolling. Success looks like a Bentley. It looks like you buying Rolex watches. It's actually looks like, oh yeah, I've got to be going on these magnificent holidays. And so many people fall into this trap thinking that's what success looks like. The number of people I've coached who have said, I have to be earning X amount before I'm going to be happy, because I've got to be wearing this, I've got to be driving this, I've got to be visiting these places. You're abiding by a set of rules, society's rules, and believing a version of success that may not even be important to you. It's also built by your family programming. Things like be grateful, don't ask for more, be happy with what you've had, what you've got. And the next thing is your fear of judgment. What happens if you fail? What happens if you look stupid? What are people going to say? What are they going to think? And then finally, it's also built by your comfort addiction. It's not that bad. You're thinking it's not that bad. You're actually just feeling like you're looking for okay ingredients to make you feel that your life is good. You're looking for those okay things to actually confirm that you're happy in life. The walls of this cage, they got built slowly, one belief at a time. They got built one excuse at a time, one lie at a time. And the problem is that every time you accepted something less than what you were capable of, that wall got stronger. Every time you said to yourself, you know what? Yeah, it's not the right time. Oh, you know what? What if I do look silly? I'm not going to attempt it. Oh, you know what? It's not that bad. Yeah, I can settle for this. Every time you did one of those things, the walls got stronger. Say for example, you wanted to launch a business, but you said, nah, that's not for me. Yeah, I'm not the kind of guy who has a business. I'm not an entrepreneur. And then you were there like, oh, actually, what if I fail? What if I do something and I look silly? And then bang, before you know it, there's another brick on that wall. You wanted to get ripped. Yeah, you wanted to get into better shape. You wanted to get the six pack, the beach body, whatever it was. But you tell yourself, no, you know what? Things are too busy now. Maybe next year, maybe later this year. And then damn, boom, another lock on the door. And before you know it, you don't even realize it. Before you know and you realize how big these walls are, you're trapped. Not by someone else, but by your own beliefs. But the good news is if you built the cage, you can tear it the hell down too. Einstein said you cannot solve a problem with the same level of mind that created the problem. So you need to start shifting your mindset so you are not approaching the problem with the same mindset as which you created it. And so here's a 3-step framework for you to use to actually break through it. Because breaking out of this isn't about motivation, it's about strategy. And here's how you do it. This 3-step framework is something I use for so many things. Step 1 is that awareness shift. I talk about it because, as I said, if you're not aware, you can't change anything. And with the awareness shift, you need to see the cage. You need to see what's holding you back. You need to see that prison around you. So the first thing is you can't break free from a cage you can't see. So you have to wake up to the lies, to the belief, to all these things that you've been telling yourself. All these things that are piled on top of you and actually just drowned you in this sea of excuses, this sea of lies, this sea of beliefs which aren't even yours. Ask yourself, where am I playing small because I'm scared? Ask yourself, what rules am I following without even questioning? And then the third thing is, what beliefs are making me weaker instead of stronger? For example, you say to yourself, I'm not good enough to lead. Ask yourself, is that a fact? Or is it a story that you've been handed, that you've been told? Maybe when you were younger, maybe when you were a kid, you were told you weren't good enough to be captain of your football team, or you weren't good enough to be a team leader at work. And you've believed that story. You've actually lived that story, and now you're still living that story 10, 20, 30 years on. So right now, write down 3 beliefs that are holding you back and challenge them and smash them to pieces. The next thing is the easy win strategy. Just break one rule today. What's the fastest way to destroy the cage? Prove to yourself it's fake. Pick one thing that you believe you can't do and do it today. You think you can't speak up at work? Say something in the meeting. You think you can't wake up at 5 a.m? Set that alarm and get up and jump out of bed. You think you can't change your body? Go smash out a workout today. Go for a 20, 30 minute walk. Do something that you wouldn't normally do and do that exercise. Stop holding yourself back. Stop believing these lies. Yeah, so pick one rule that you've been obeying that's keeping you small, keeping you in this little circle keeping you trapped, and break it today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. The third thing is your identity-based habits. This is where you need to rebuild yourself. The final key to get yourself out of this cage, you don't escape by trying harder. You escape by becoming a new person. You escape by becoming someone who refuses to be caged. How? Start acting like the person you want to become. You want to become someone confident? Show up like that person. Show up confident. Start walking, talking, showing up like that person, and see what difference that makes. Every action you take is a vote for the person you want to be. So who do you want to be? Do you want to be that confident person who walks in with a smile and people gravitate towards? Or do you want to just walk in meekly and just kind of skirt around the outsides of a room and ignore what's going on? The action step for this one is to write this down. Yeah? Who is the person I want to become? And then ask yourself, what would they do today? And then get out the house and go do that. So if you remember nothing else from this episode, if you take nothing else away, remember that the only thing trapping you is the cage that you've accepted. And today you've got the key in your hand. You have the power to escape the cage. You have the power to take that step forward. You have the power to become the person you want to be. So your challenge is to identify one limiting belief. Smash one invisible rule. And then you know what? DM me or tag me at just.live.coaching on Instagram and tell me exactly what you did. Let's celebrate together. Let's see how much your life can change when you start believing in things that push you forward and raise you up rather than things that hold you back. If you get something from this, please share this episode with someone you respect or someone who needs that wake-up call. My mission is to actually be and have a positive impact on this world, and you could help me do this by sharing, by subscribing, by rating and reviewing this podcast. Because this is more than just you. When you break out, what you do is you actually show other people it's possible too. So it's time to break free. It's time to live like you were built to live. So stop holding yourself back. Start to shift that mindset. Start to master that mindset. Because when you master it, you'll master your life. Thank you.